Hello everybody, it's me, it's Chad, Polynordic, back yet again with another bit of new D&D things. I announced not that long ago that we were going to try to do more tabletop, more Dungeons & Dragons content, and it has been just like an avalanche of new things to talk about just in the last couple days. You know, we had the Spelljammer stuff on Friday, I want to say it was. This weekend, we had the unboxing of all the Fizzband stuff I was able to pick up, including that beautifully ugly Elder Brain Dragon. And today, new Unearthed Arcana just came out. I was sitting over there, just on the other side of the room, painting some miniatures, and I stopped to let one of the figures dry a little bit, and looked at my phone, and there it was, a mention on a website of new Unearthed Arcana. So let's freaking look at it together right now. I already have it pulled up, so let's just screens here. There we are. This is the Wonders of the Multiverse Unearthed Arcana. In today's Unearthed Arcana, we explore D&D character options from across the multiverse. This playtest document presents the Glitchling race, the Fate Domain Cleric subclass, the Gate Warden, Giant Foundling, and Planner Philosopher, and Runecraft backgrounds. Additionally, a collection of new feats provide links to giants and other primordial forces of the planes, while a selection of new spells highlight the power of fate and chance. As always, they like to remind us that this is playtest material. So here it is, Unearthed Arcana 2022, Wonders of the Multiverse. Let's see. They're still doing the ASI thing, as we expect. I like it. I don't know why people are bent out of shape about it. But, you know, as they always say, do what works at your table. If you like the old ASI that are specific to the different races, go for it, man. And if you like the new thing, do the new thing. It's not that critical. Lifespan, height, and weight. Glitchling, here we go. Created by forces of planar law, glitchlings are winged, human-like creatures made from a merger of magic and machine. These explorers seek to learn all they can about the multiverse and its creatures. Some glitchlings then carry what they learn back to the lawful planes like Mechanus in order to inform the orderly working of the multiverse. Others become enamored with travel and the peoples they encounter, and they seek to make a life of their own among the planes. Glitchlings begin their existences with rudimentary personalities. As they absorb information and experiences, their personalities grow, but many retain quirks associated with their lawful origin. I like that. I do want to double check a thing. Can you even read it? Is it big enough for you to read on the screen? I did not think about that when we first started. Forgive me. Go to that. Make it bigger. What's it look like now? There we go. There we go. Much better. I'm sorry, I wasn't planning on doing any video content today. I didn't expect this. Here's their quirks that you can roll on. I collect things, whether a specific kind of thing. We think ourselves as part of the collective. Lawful forces of the multiverse, and don't refer to ourselves as a singular being. Okay. I seek out new experiences so I can better understand the freedom of my existence. I preface things I say with short descriptions such as observation, interjection, or query. That's like that race in Mass Effect. That always, everything they say begins with the emotion or the intent. I plan elaborate responses to every contingency, ready to execute at an instant notice. Alright, so Batman. I investigate people's intentions behind their actions, trying to solve the equation that guides them. Their construct, medium, walking speed at 30. Metal skin is reinforced with armor plates. While you aren't wearing armor, your base armor class is 14 plus your dex. When you make an attack roll or saving throw or roll a 9 or lower, you can balance chaos and treat the roll as a 10. You can balance chaos in this way a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. Your living construct, created to benefit from several spells that preserve life, but that normally don't affect constructs. That's simple mechanically. That way, cure wounds, healing word, mass cure, all that stuff works on you. Ordered mind, you have an advantage on wisdom, insight checks, and saving throws made to. Okay. Vestigial Wings. You have Vestigial Wings that allow limited flight. When you move, you can engage your wings to gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed until the end of the current turn. If you are still aloft at the end of the turn with nothing else supporting you, you fall. Again, your proficiency bonus is what applies. Glitchlings could be really interesting. I can't wait to see the official art. Because I've been looking through a lot of 3rd edition and 3.5 stuff, and I have some 2nd edition stuff floating around that I look at. The art has only gotten progressively better as with each new edition. So show me what a glitchling looks like. I want to see it. Cleric subclass, the Fate domain. Gods of Fate perceive the future and how the choices of mortals make and drive them forward or towards their destiny. Some deities consider the future preordained, while others understand the multiverse as a place of infinite possibility. Clerics who draw power from the forces of fate sometimes receive visions directly from their deity and receive fleeting omens of the future. They share impossible knowledge with their allies and prophesize their enemies' doom. And then we get a couple fate domain deities. Their domain spells, Dissonant Whispers and Heroism. 3rd level, See Invisibility and Warding Bond. Beacon of Hope and Clairvoyance. Death Ward and Divination. Commune and Guile. Omens and Portents. I knew it. I think. Let me finish. Let me see what here. No, it's different. It's different than what I was thinking. I was thinking it was going to be like the Divination wizards get, but it's a little different. Ties that bind. I should go back and read that out loud. Omens and portents. You can perceive signs of the future and everyday objects and events, such as flights of birds or ripples made in the water by a thrown stone. You can cast the augury spell without expending a spell slot, and when you cast the spell in this way, it has no verbal, somatic, or material components. So you just do it. Once you cast a spell in this way, you cannot do it again until you finish long rest. In addition, until you finish a long rest, when you cast a divination spell that includes the chance the DM gives you no answer or random reading, such as augury, commune, or divination, you get to reduce that chance by 25%. Ties that bind. You can temporarily tie your fate to others. As an action, you touch one object or creature and magically tie a strand of fate from yourself to it for 1 hour, or until you use this feature again. An unwilling creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC to resist the effect. While the target is bound to you and on the same plane of existence you can sense the direction of the target's location, and you know the direction of its movement if it's in motion. In addition, once per turn, when you cast a spell using a spell slot to deal damage or restore hit points to the target, roll a d6 and the target receives extra damage or healing. So that could be friend or foe there. Again, proficiency bonus. Regain expended uses on a long rest. Strands of Fate. Your channel divinity allows you to see and manipulate the strands of fate that weave around other individuals. As a bonus action, you can enter this state for up to 1 minute or until you lose concentration. For the duration, whenever another creature you see makes an attack roll or an ability check, you can use a reaction to give the roll advantage or disadvantage. That's interesting. So if you're just playing straight support cleric, all you have to do is have eyesight on an enemy or an ally. Insightful Striking. As a bonus action, you choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. Your magic grants you a brief vision of the target's defenses. Until the end of your next turn, you gain one of the following effects of your choice. The next time you attack that target, you can roll a d6 and add the number. Or the next time the target must make a saving throw against a spell you cast, the target must roll a d6 and subtract the number rolled from their saving throw. That's pretty good too. Again, the proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Potent spell casting. I can't talk. I'm just so like, I get to do one of these finally. You add your wisdom modifier to the damage you deal. Clerics are wisdom casters, are they not? Yeah. Or are they charisma? No, they're wisdom. Because charisma is bard, warlock, sorcerer, right? I ask to the recording camera like it can answer me, and I'm not gonna try to look it up right now. Anyway, wisdom damage modifier gets added to, or the wisdom modifier gets added to your damage, and then their capstone. Your knowledge of the future allows you to guide an individual to achieve their greatest possible success. You can cast the Foresight spell once without burning a spell slot, and when you cast a spell this way, the spell's duration is 1 minute for the casting. You can't do so again until you finish long rest. Okay. 4 new backgrounds. If the DM decides to follow or to allow any of the backgrounds in this section, all characters in the campaign gain access to a bonus feat. If you select any one of these backgrounds, you gain the bonus feat specified in that background. And if the background you choose doesn't provide a feat, you gain a bonus feat of your choice from the following list. That, I kind of like it. I like feats. I think they're too sparse. In fact, with the next game, we're about to wrap up our first campaign in the coming weeks and months. When we start our second campaign this fall, I was contemplating just giving every player a feat out the gate that they normally wouldn't have. Because I'm a benevolent DM. See Elder Brain Dragon from a couple videos ago. So Scion of Elemental Air, Scion of Elemental Earth, Elemental Fire, Elemental Water, Skilled, and Tough, which are, player handbooks ones. Okay, Gate Warden. You spent a significant amount of time somewhere influenced by a portal to another plane of existence or by intense planar forces. You're accustomed to experiences that would leave others reeling in terror or enraptured by otherworldly beauty. And you're as comfortable dealing with fiends and celestials as you are with vendors in town. So you get Persuasion and Survival. You can pick 2 out of Abyssal, Celestial, or Infernal. Are the recommended ones. 2 of your choice. Those are the recommended ones. A Ring of Keys to Unknown Locks, a blank book, an ink pen or quill, a bottle of black ink, a set of traveler's clothes, and a pouch containing 10 gold. And you get the Planar Infusion feature. Living somewhere steeped in the energy of the planes, you gain the Scion of the Outer Plane feat, as we discussed, or as we read just a second ago and detailed later. In addition, you know where to find free and modest lodging and food in the community you grew up in. For those who dwell for an extended time near a permanent portal to another plane, absorb the essence radiating from the plane. This creates similarities in behaviors or even physical appearances that mark someone as influenced by a particular plane. The influence of an outer plane shapes your perspective. The Gate Warden personality trait table suggests various traits that you might adopt for your character. I love a good roll table. Strange events and otherworldly creatures don't faze me. I think in terms of exchange, something for something, nothing for nothing. I speak with an unusual cadence. I pepper my speech with borrowed words or curses from planar languages. I've seen enough to know that you can't take anyone at face value, so I scrutinize everyone I deal with. I have a superstitious habit I picked up, such as touching iron when I'm nervous or arranging objects in specific order. Trinkets for the Gate Warden include a tiny vial pendant filled with a drip of honey that glows faintly, a small lead ingot with a strange thumbprint pressed into it that whispers when held tightly, 2 lodestone spheres that chime when they attract each other, a smoldering pebble of coal that, while always hot, doesn't burn skin, a white feather that sheds dim light in a 5-foot radius, and a ring made from a chain link once worn won't come off without pulling painfully hard. Giant Foundling. Though you aren't a giant, you grew up amongst giants. Maybe you were an orphan taken in by a sympathetic family of stone giants who raised you as one of their own, or perhaps you lived in a lost prehistoric pocket of the world surrounded by giants and fearsome behemoths or hulking dinosaurs. Something about your environment, perhaps the food or water that sustained you through childhood, elemental magic inherent in the site of your home, or some verdant blessing of growth placed upon you ensured that you grew to a remarkable size. With the aid of this magic, you have learned how to embody the titanic might of giants. You are used to moving through the world much bigger than you, and that is reflected in your skills, attitude, and perspective in life. You get Intimidation Survival. You get to pick 2 languages. You get a backpack, a set of traveler's clothes, a small stone or sprig that reminds you of home, a pouch containing 10 gold. How you came to live among colossal creatures is up to you to determine, but the foundling origin tale suggests a variety of possibilities. You were found as a baby by a family of nomadic giants who raised you. A family of stone giants rescued you when you fell into a mountain crag, and you have lived with them ever since. Underground ever since. You were lost or abandoned as a child in the jungle that teemed with ravenous dinosaurs. There you found an equally lost frost giant, and together you survived. That's kind of heartwarming. Your farm was crushed and your family killed, much less heartwarming, in a battle between warring groups of giants. Racked with guilt over the destruction, a sympathetic giant soldier promised to care for you. After you had a series of strange dreams as a child, your superstitious parents sent you to study with a powerful but aloof storm giant oracle, and while playing hide-and-seek with your friends, you stumbled into a castle of a cloud giant matriarch who immediately adopted you. You get the Strike of the Giants feature. It's later in the document. Building a giant foundling. Giant foundling personality traits. What I lack in stature, I make up for with sheer spite. Sometimes size does matter, okay? If I see a beast bigger than me, I'm immediately running away. Crowded spaces make me uncomfortable. I'd much rather be in the wide open field than a bustling tavern. I like being small. It helps me stay unnoticed and underestimated. Size is just half the story. Every avalanche begins as a single pebble, and the world always feels too big. I'm afraid I'll never find my place in it. Oh, that one. Ooh. That one hits me right here. Planar philosopher. You subscribe to a distinct philosophy that seeks to understand the nature of the planes or some hidden truth of the multiverse. You draw strength from your conviction and perhaps a network of like-minded believers. In your travels, you seek to deepen the depths of your understanding and spread your philosophy. You get Arcana and Persuasion proficiencies, 2 languages of your choice, common clothes, pouch containing 10 gold, comprised of coins from different worlds and planes. That's all you get with those. You get the feature of Conviction. You gain the Scion of the Outer Planes feat, presented later in the document. In addition, members of the organization provide you free and modest lodging and food at any of their holding. I don't know if you all hear that. It's my neighbor jumping around or whatever it is he does in the afternoon. In the faction members. Suggested characteristics for a planar philosopher. I don't venerate any gods. We can be as powerful or greater than them. Experience is everything. Live in the moment. When things crumble, I find meaning in the ashes. Life thrives through order. I won't tolerate disruptions. When others make plans, the multiverse laughs, and so do I. I know what's right, and no one will stand in my way. And the trinkets you get, locket with a picture of your mentor, and an inscription I can't read. A bleached rat skull with colored glass beads in its eye sockets. A torn parchment with half a rebus puzzle painted on it. I think it's rebus. Or rebus. A bracelet of twisted razor vine stems. A fragment of verdigris-coated bronze blade. And smooth river stone covered in tiny carved holy symbols. Did the foundling... I missed... No, the foundling didn't get trinkets. Okay. Rune Carver, you've dedicated your life to studying the practice of runecraft. Whether you're personally taught by a master rune carver or learned by poring over engravings in ancient ruins, you understand how to tap into the supernatural power held within runes. The art of runecraft was initially created by the giants of yore, but over time the practice has been adopted by individuals of all races and backgrounds. As such, though giant runes are the most common, many rune carvers incorporate symbols up from their native language. Your history and perception proficiencies. You know giant and 1 other language. Equipment, you get a set of artisan tools of your choice. A small knife, a whetstone, common clothes, and the standard 10 gold. You get your rune styles. You inscribe your runes with a fine metal needle. You whittle down pieces of wood into small figurines you mark with your runes. You engrave runes onto glass beads and thread them into necklaces and bracelets. You stitch your runes into the hems of clothing. You carve runes on a set of animal bones you can throw in different formations. Let's see, witches in fiction do that a lot. You carve runes on a set of animal bones. You draw your runes into candles, melting the wax to smooth over the engravings. And you get the Rune Carver Apprentice feature, which we'll cover shortly. Personality traits. Is it practical to learn an ancient language that is rarely used in everyday speech? I learned one of my ancestors was a lauded rune carver whose story was lost to time. The old traditional markings of Runecraft look so boring. Why not give your runes some flair? In my studies of runes, I strive to understand how great civilizations of the past fell. So I may prevent it from happening to societies in the present. Life may be a whirlwind of chaos around me, but whenever I create my runes, I feel at peace. My brain struggles to process ink words written on paper, but the tactile feeling of carved runes makes my mind sing. Alright, we got these new feats. Lots of them. I'm going to say some of them have to have prerequisites, yeah. 4th level, Scion of the Outer Planes, in order to be an Agent of Order. Get your ability to score increase. You get Stasis Strike. Spectral Bindings when you hit. Baleful Scion. Channel cosmic forces of evil that cause pain but invigorate your being. Life-draining grasp. 1d6 plus your PB, and you regain a number of hit points equal to the necrotic damage dealt in this manner. I'm skimming through these at this point because I don't want to read them word for word. Forgive me. Let's see. With Cardomancer, you channel your... Alright, Gambit. Channel your magic through a deck of playing cards. You can use your deck of cards as a spellcasting focus. You learn Prestidigitation and use it to create illusions. What levels is a 4th level? 4th level Sorcerer, Warlock, or Wizard. When you use Prestidigitation in this manner, you can seal the verbal and somatic components of the spell as mundane conversation and card handling. When you finish a long rest, you can choose one spell you know and imbue it into a card. Again, Gambit. The chosen spell must have a casting time of 1 action, and its level must be less than or equal to your PB. While the card is imbued with the spell, you can use your bonus action to flourish the card and cast the spell within. The card immediately loses its magic. Cohort of Chaos. You get yourself Chaotic Flares. Disruption Field, Battle Fury, Unbound, Wailing Winds. Ember of the Fire Giant. You can increase your strength, your constitution, or wisdom. You have resistance to fire damage. When you take the attack action, you can replace a single attack with a magical burst of flame. Each creature within 15 feet of you, of your choice, within 15 feet of you. That's important. Don't want any friendly fire. You can blind them with fire. Again, number of times equal to your PB. Fury of the Frost Giant. Similarly, you get cold. Immediately after a creature you can see within 30 feet of you hits you with an attack roll, you get to do Frigid Retaliation, which sounds like Hellish Rebuke, but icy. Guile of the Cloud Giant. When a creature you see hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to give yourself resistance to that attack's damage and then teleport 30 feet away. Stone Giant Keenness. You can touch a rock that can fit in the palm of your hand and imbue it with magic. When the rock is imbued with magic, you are wielding it, It's a magic ranged weapon. Has the thrown property. with a normal range of 60 and a long range of 180. The rock deals 1d10 bludgeoning damage, and if the target is a creature, it has to take a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. The magic remains in the rock until you hit with it or finish a long rest, so you can carry it with you charged up. Outlands Envoy. Sigil. You've spent a significant time in Sigil or elsewhere in the Outlands. No, it's Sigil. Sigil is the important bit there. Are we getting Planescape? I mean, we're getting Spelljammer. Is Planescape coming too? Crossroads Emissary. You learn the Misty Step and the Tongue spell. You can cast each spell once using this feat without a spell slot. Long Rest restores it. No material components for tongues. You also cast these spells using spell slots of the appropriate level. The spellcasting ability is the one chosen when you gained the Outer Scion feat. So you can get it at first level, but if you take that feat later on, well, you would have to. Never mind. Planar Wanderer, not Planar. You draw on the forces of the multiverse to survive cosmic extremes and to traverse its infinite realms. You get Planar Adaptation. You gain resistance to elemental damage, acid, cold, or fire. You can operate portals without a key. And you know the direction to the last portal you used. Yeah, this is some Planescape stuff, man. Talking about City of Doors. Going from City of Doors to talking about operating portals with and without keys. Righteous Heritor. You can reduce suffering received. You get the Rune Carver Apprentice. You get Comprehend Languages. You get 2 runes of your choice from the Rune Spell table. So Death is Ray of Sickness, Dragon, Chromatic Orb, Enemy, Disguise Self, Friend, Speak with Animals, Journey, Longstrider. Didn't they do some Rune stuff not that long ago? Are they revisiting the Rune stuff? Scion of Elemental Air. You get the Minor Illusion, and you can glide. With flying speed equal to your walking speed. Again, you fall if you're at the end of your turn. Druidcraft as an Elemental Earth. You can raise the Earth up in front of you to give yourself half cover. Elemental Flame. Get Dancing Lights. That makes sense. You get the Produced Flame cantrip. You can cast it as a bonus action. Scion of Elemental Water. You get Thaumaturgy. And you can do Wave Surge. Create a forceful surge of water directed at a creature within 15 feet of you that you can see. Scion of the Outer Planes. The original. I wish they would put them in level order. So that way you're not reading them out of order. Okay, so you choose your type of plane from the Planar Infusion. So if you're from the Astral Plane, you get Psychic Resistance and you get Message as a cantrip. Good Outer Plane, Radiant Damage Resistance, and Sacred Plane. That all makes sense. That makes sense. Soul of a Storm Giant. As a bonus action, you surround yourself in an aura of magical wind and lightning that extends 10 feet from you in every direction, but not through total cover. The aura lasts until the start of your next turn or until you are incapacitated. Strike of the Giants. You have absorbed the primeval magic that gives you an echo of the might of the giants. Choose one of the kinds of giants listed below. As a bonus action, you can call on the power of your giant magic to imbue your attacks with additional power. The next time you hit a target with a melee or thrown weapon attack within the next minute, that's 10 rounds, The attack has an additional effect depending on the origin of your giant magic. Now, I think thematically, you'd probably be best served if you, like, I was raised by frost giants, therefore I get to do the extra 1d6 cold damage. But that's how I would rule it when doing character creation. That's how I would do it. But there's also, I don't see anything here that says you have to choose the type of giant your character was raised by. It's just how I would roll. Vigor of the Hill Giant. If you're subjected to an effect that would move you 5 feet or knock you prone, you can use your reaction to say no. Also, you can eat food. And you spend 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points. You regain additional hit points equal to your con modifier and your proficiency bonus. New spells. Spray of Cards, Antagonize, House of Cards, Summon Warrior Spirit, and Spirit of Death. Second, third, fourth. Antagonize. You whisper magical words that antagonize one creature of your choice within range. The target must make a wisdom saving throw or take 4d4 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice that you can see. If there are no other creatures within range, the target has disadvantage on the next turn. On the next attack roll it makes before the start of your next turn. English. House of Cards. You touch the ground and conjure forth a defensive structure made of enormous playing cards. The structure rises with you at its center, harmlessly lifting you and any creatures in the area. The House of Cards has a square base that is 30 feet on each side and has 3 floors with 10-foot high ceilings. The second floor is 20 feet on each side, and the top floor is 10 feet, so it's 30, 20, 10. Both centered above the bottom floor. Ramps connect the interior of each floor, and empty door frames connect the interior. Each card that comprises the house is 5 feet wide and 10 feet tall and is very fragile. A card has 10 AC and 1 hit point. The cards are immune to poison and psychic damage. Reducing the card to 0 hit points destroyed it. Every time a card is destroyed, roll a d6. If you roll a 5 or a 6, the house collapses, ending the spell. The house and all its cards vanish when the spell ends. Lasts for 24 hours. That's a silly, wonderful spell. That's like, we just need shelter. It's safe here. House of Cards. Spirit of Death. You call forth a spirit that embodies death itself. Choose a creature you can see within range. The spirit manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within 10 feet of the target, and the target becomes haunted by the spirit. The spirit uses the Reaper stat block, and it disappears when it or the haunted creature is reduced to 0 hit points. The Reaper spirit is an ally to you and your companions. In combat, the spirit shares your initiative count, but it takes its turns immediately after yours. It obeys your verbal commands, but it will only attack the haunted creature. If you don't issue the spirit any commands, it takes the dodge action and uses it to move to avoid danger. When you cast a spell using a slot of the 5th level or higher, use the higher level wherever the spirit's level appears in the stat block. Reaper Spirit stat block. Armor class of 11 plus the level of the spell. So if you were to cast it as a 9th level spell, you would have an armor class of 20 on the Reaper Spirit. And 100 hit points if I did that math real quick just now. Reaping Scythe, Paralyzing Fear. Spray of Cards. You spray spectral cards from your hands or sleeve. Again, Gambit. We can play Gambit now. Blind people, cut them. That's awesome. Summon Warrior Spirit. You call forth the Warrior Spirit from the legendary deck of many things that manifest in an unoccupied space that you can see within range. This corporeal form uses the Warrior Spirit stat block. And then here's the stat block. Okay, so you don't have to have the deck of many things to do that. One of the more useful deck of many things cards now can just be handled with a spell. So that's our new Unearthed Arcana. I like it. I don't know how practical any of it is. I don't know if any of it's broken. I'm not an expert. in these things. My hair's doing a silly thing. I gotta try to fix it. I like that a lot. That was a really cool Unearthed Arcana. I like. Oh my god! I hope Planescape is coming, because, like, I've bought in on some of the second and third edition stuff that's out there over the last 2 years. I've taken my players to Sigil. They've met the Lady of Pain, and that they've seen her flay somebody in the street. They've used Sigil to pass through doors and portals to get to places. I've taken them to the Infinite Staircase. We're going to go do Spelljammer stuff. This year has been so cool for getting away from Faerun. As much as I love Faerun and Toril and Waterdeep and all that stuff, as much as my heart is there from all the books I grew up reading, I'm so excited that this is the year that D&D 5e, got Radiant Citadel comes out tomorrow. Earlier in the year, we had an official Exandria module from Critical Role. Later in the year, we're supposed to have Dragonlance. And I think a month or two, it's August or September, I can never remember which, Spelljammer comes out. Let Planescape be coming. Like, what if Planescape is the first big book of 2023? What if Planescape is how they kick off the new rule set? What's a glitchling look like? These are the questions I need answered. Man. I need to cook dinner. Thanks for watching this 40-minute look at this thing. I'm going to try to do these quicker next time. I wasn't expecting to do one. This was a big surprise to me. I'll see you next time here on Polynerdic on YouTube. Polynerdic.com. Someone started a car. It made a god-awful belt squeak. I don't know if it came through the mic or not. Anyway, thank you. Check out the Unearthed Arcana yourself. I'll put the link down in the thing down there. And make sure you check out the other D&D content we put out over the last couple days. Like I said, going to be a bigger part of the channel now. It has been a big investment for me over the last 2.5 years, but I've not done a lot of content with it. It's just been a thing that I've been passionate about and talked a lot about. I mean, look at the blue dragons right there. Look at that family of blues right there. Look how pretty they are. And then right there, you can kind of see the Elder Brain Dragon. Anyway, I like D&D. I like tabletop RPGs. I want to learn more about all of them. I want to talk more about all of them. So expect to see a smattering of that around here. And I'll see you next time.